Hey everyone, welcome to another Rise to Thrive live human design reading podcast. Here we are. I'm so excited to ignite your inner boss through your having more purpose, more power, more profit, utilizing your strengths and your challenges on your chart to help you take it to the next level. Now, I always say in human design, it is all about seeing what's inside of us and shining a light on that. And once we do, we can lean into those gifts more. We can create strengths where we thought, oh, well, that was just something I just do, type of thing. We can take our boss level to the next level and really shine in all the areas of our lives that we want. And it's such a beautiful thing to lean into what is our strengths, what are our challenges, and what are our gifts. So please drop in where in the country or in the world that you're coming in from. Hey! And if it's sunny, warm, cold, rainy, drop in an emoji of what is going on around your area. Right here in Texas, it's super sunny, very hot. We have endless summers, but I'd almost rather have that than really cold winters because I can't do that, you guys. I'm a wimp. So we have a special guest on today, and Lacey Cribb is an online business strategy coach and tech guru. Her mission is supporting and empowering entrepreneurs to build and monetize their business online using simple success strategies and taking action. She has created her signature STRAC method as a way to work with clients to get real results. Hey guys, hey. So I'm so excited. Please welcome on Lacey Cribb.
Hello.
Hey Lacey, thank you so much for being a part of Rise to Thrive today. So grateful to have you on today.
I am so excited to be here. It's, to answer the weather question, we've got some cloud here. I'm actually calling in from Alberta, Canada. So that's where I live. So very, very north of you.
Yes. So you can handle cold then, right? Or
I think
do you just have to?
I think we have to. Yeah. So I'm actually going to be playing ball tonight out in the weather. And the other night it was like rainy and cold a little bit. So tonight it'll be a little bit cloudy and cooler.
Oh, that's great. That is crazy. I know it's so but it's so beautiful up there. Like it's stunning.
Oh yeah. Where I am, we're like kind of right out near the mountains and stuff. So yeah, you can definitely get the mountains. I'm originally from the East Coast and live near the ocean, so I definitely miss the ocean lots. There is no ocean in the prairies where I live, so I'm going back there though, very, very soon.
Oh, that is so awesome. Is that where your house is being built then, out there?
No, our
Okay.
house isn't going to be here. Our home is based here. My partner, my fiance, I guess now, we met here, and he's made it very clear, like, this is where we're going to live, right?
Yes.
You came here and met me here.
Yeah. Don't expect me to transplant. I know. Well, my husband and I were, I'm from the East, where he's from the East Coast and I'm from the West Coast. And we met kind of in the central of the US. And now we're in Dallas in the South. So it's totally different. So crazy how life takes twists and turns, and
Yeah.
But it's so harmonic. Well, I'm so excited. I know there's so many projectors in our community that are excited to hear more about how do we live within our projector self, right? Projectors have many, many strengths. They're so awesome. And we have some challenges as well, just like any other human design type. So when I do chart readings, I always, whether we're live or I do them for individuals, I always look at the chart and I say, what do you want this person to hear? What is the soul's message that is coming across? And as you know, you've looked on your own chart too, and you're like, what is this? It's kind of overwhelming, right? So we're just going to take bits and pieces, and that's where really betterment and change comes in, is through those daily practices of how do I lean into even more what I'm doing. So human design is a practice, right? Just like yoga is a practice, just like Being a parent is really a practice, am I right? Being a business owner is a practice, right? We're never going to be perfect, but the more that we lean into our gifts and our strengths and our challenges as well, the more that we'll have that purpose, power, and profit within our businesses and filtering into our lives. So everybody on to just drop in your questions as we go throughout this conversation in this live podcast. So, all right. So Lacey, projectors love systems. Okay. They have a bird's eye view of things, right? So they have this overall arching view of what could happen and how from this point, if we want this result, how do we work backwards and how do we systematize that progress within whatever sphere of influence we're working within, you know? And as your coaching practice expands and you know that you have the skills to kind of see that end result, you've created this system, right, of your own coaching methodologies. And when I read your bio, I was like, such a projector to create your own system, you know? And I get asked that all the time with Become too. They're like, how did you create that? I'm like, I don't know. It just came to me. You know, I just saw a problem, had this overarching view, and I was like, okay, this is how we're going to do it, you know? So how did you create, using these great strengths, how did you create your system, your STRAC method? And tell us about it too, you know?
Okay, so I have always been the go-to strategy person. So I've come from the corporate world. I recently quit my 6-figure job in May to go all in on my business because it was, you know, doing really well and stuff. And I just wanted to have that freedom and flexibility. So I just took that corporate mindset. But even in the corporate world, I was always the person where it's like, this is the end goal. We need to get there. And I just instantly, like, rapid fire. It's like, here's the strategy. Here's how we're doing it. Here's the actions we're going to take. So it just came really, really naturally. And so when I jumped into the online business world, I jumped in, I think I've always had that entrepreneur mindset. I'll say, like, I've always dreamed and thought. And then finally, and I dabbled a little bit, but finally I really took the step to say, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm just going to do it now. And once I made that decision that I'm going to do it, I jumped in I think September of last year, said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a business. And I just went full tilt on, you know, creating my strategy, taking actions and doing. And then I realized I just created a system. And so that system became my strategy and action plan, which I now condensed into STRACT method. So it's a lot of strategy and action. When I work with my clients, I basically combine the two together, and I have them work in their zone of genius while I work in mine on their business. So that's kind of how it works together, is figuring out what their zone of genius, because a lot of people, especially when you get into the online coaching world, you're asked to do things, or you think you need to do things that are outside of your zone of experience or expertise. And you don't often go out and get that help, and you end up trying to do it all alone, and it just doesn't work. And so having someone side by side with you saying, here's your zone of genius and where you need to work, here's where I'm going to work, and they're going to come collide in the middle, and voila, you're going to have your functioning and profitable business that you've been dreaming of, which is what I did. So from September to basically January, I just worked on strategy actions and, you know, launched and grew. I've made 2 5-figure launches. It's gone extremely, extremely well. And when you put all those 5-figure launches together, you build a 6-figure business, and you just keep on going. So that's why I'm so excited about it. Like, I love the system. I love the strategy action. It comes really quick, and I'm like rapid fire. Sometimes I'm like, okay, tell me if I have to slow down.
Yes, totally. Well, and projectors are really good coaches, mentors. They really see people. So I love what you said about, like, you know, your strategies are not a one size fits all, right? It's very personalized to the human that's developing the business. And that's what projectors are so good at. So when you come across someone that you're like, okay, I'm working with you, you know, and we're getting to know you and your processes and things like that, just know that you have that strength to really see who they are and see them for a real person and how to develop them into the next level. That's a gift of yours.
That is so good to hear. And I'm laughing because
Yeah.
I start working with a client
Yeah.
and like the next day I'm sending them a flow chart and I'm like, this is what I'm thinking for your business. And
Yes.
it's like, taking them from like your client enters here, they go through here, and it's essentially like a bit of a funnel flow. But it's just funny that you say that because it speaks so truly to me where I've got like processes written down. I always tell them I'm going to go and I'm going to draft it a process and then I'm going to come back and we're going to build it together.
Oh, that's so great. That's so great. And that build it together is a beautiful way that you coach, because it is personalized. Everybody's business is so different and every person is so different. And so for you to be able to see them, hear them, and to validate them and then say, here's what we're going to do next, that's a truly beautiful thing. And that's magic that you have. So if you're, as you continue to grow this amazing six-figure business, you're going to see, okay, and you're going to rise to the occasion at each and every single level because it's ingrained into who you are and who you're becoming. It's there for you.
That feels so good.
Okay. I know, it's so amazing. It's so powerful. Okay, so on your chart, I looked at your defined centers. Now, a center, human design has 9 defined centers, and they're kind of like chakras, and each center has a job to do. Now, defined means you always have them with you. You always have these strengths with you to call upon at any moment. And undefined means that we just don't have those strengths all the time, but we can harness those by either environment or mood or some other processes that strengthen those. Okay. So your defined centers, you have 5 defined centers, and on your chart, you'll see they're always colored in. Okay. Yours is the head, and the head's job is inspiration. The ajna, which is just below the crown head, is thinking. The root, which is at the very bottom, is drive. Your spleen, which is instinct and intuition. Okay. So you always have those capabilities with you. So I always think of like when I'm working with like these defined centers and coaching people to use their defined centers. I always think if you're in a spot where you're like, oh gosh, I don't know, because we all get that way as bosses, right? We're like, oh, just know that you have these gifts and lean into them even more. And they're like a muscle, right? The more that we work with them, the more their power grows. It's the exact same thing. Remember, human design is a practice. It's a tool to help us to become better. Now, with your defined centers, you are an energy projector. And what that means is you're going to have more energy than a classic projector. I'm a classic projector. I don't have a defined drive and defined root. And so you are going to have this kind of boost of energy because you're of that drive that you have, that defined center. And your boost is going to sometimes make you look like a generator, which they have lots of energy, or a manifesting generator who has a lot of energy and a lot of vision for that energy, right? And so I don't know if when you took your human design, I'm curious, when you took your human design, were you like, I'm a projector, huh? At first, did you have any thoughts on that?
A little tiny bit, because when I think I did the thing where you put in your birth information,
Yes.
and I was very surprised because when it gets that detailed, it's not just like a very overarching thing. It's like super, super specific. So I was super excited to be like, okay, I'm a projector. But then there were some things I was like, I don't know if that fits me perfectly. And then I seen the fancy, map. And of course, I'm like, okay, I need Courtney to explain this to me because I don't know what this map is telling me, which is what we're doing now. But yeah, a little bit, I was like, okay, I'm a tiny, tiny bit surprised because when I read the high level kind of overarching of each of them, I might have put myself in one of those other areas without, knowing.
Yeah. Well, and that's what, even for me, I'm not an energy projector. But I had thought for sure I was a generator or a manifesting generator, and we're going to get into a little bit more about why you might think you're an MG with your vision and thinking and stuff. But for the energy wise, you're going to have some more drive, right? So why I love these chart readings is because we can really tailor it down and be like, okay, this is kind of more of your picture, and this is what you're going to see more of. And so you're going to see more energy. Now, the hard part with energy projectors is you're going to have that drive, you're going to have that extra energy. You're going to want to build your business in a day, like every single day, and do all the things, because that drive is really pushing you to do that. But just know that energy projectors burn out quickly, So having this ability to nurture yourself, to take care of you, to make sure that you're having a daily practice that nurtures you'll be able to maintain that drive. You'll be able to maintain that energy to move forward, and it will all work together. But just be really mindful of that, really mindful of burnout, because you might not see it until it's upon you, and then it sucks when it's there because it's not very convenient at all.
No, not at all. And I'm so glad you said that, because just this week I started, and I think it was Friday, I said it to my partner, I'm going to start a miracle morning routine. Because it was getting, hop out of bed, get the kids to daycare, and then I just come back and I just start, crushing it. And so self-care definitely started going downhill, finding time to do other things. And I would sometimes find, I would be sitting at my desk from, 8 o'clock till 5. And then, oh my goodness, I forgot to put supper on. And so, yeah, it's definitely something that I'm going to have to be very, very aware of, and very considerate of, because I noticed my brain even at night wasn't shutting off and shutting down. So that's a good reminder. I have to do something more.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, exactly. You have to do something more, and it has to be a need. It has to be qualified as a need, not just this is probably pretty good for me. I should do this, but I'll do it tomorrow. Do you know that kind of mindset? Okay, I'll get to it. I just got to do these other couple things. But it has to be a routine, because you're helping so many people. But when we fall into burnout, and we can't help those people, and that really stinks, So your vision, you're actually going to be able to do more with less, with what it seems like less. But because you have that drive, because you have those abilities, those projector abilities, you can get done and simplify or delegate or delete things in order to keep up with the vision that you have and where you want to go with your business. So I always tell my projectors, I'm like, either delegate it, delete it, or, simplify it in some way, So keep that phrase handy. That will help with burnout, because of course you want to do all the things, it's just let me do all the things. Let me get this vision going,
No, that's so good. Yeah. And even if a client asks something, it's like, I'm going to drop everything and I'm going to do it right now. It's like, no, just wait a minute.
Yes. Just wait a minute. Exactly. Just wait a minute. And this goes into your inner authority. Now, your inner authority on your chart really stood out to me, and it's your wise counsel. So it's this way we make decisions. It helps us to make decisions better. And so on your chart, yours is a splenic, and a splenic is only projectors and manifestors have splenic inner authority. So, and what it is this instinctual, intuitive response that you have coming from within you. And that is your guide. And it might not make sense intellectually, but it's going to make sense physically, and trust that as you make decisions. Now, because you have your head is inspiration, and that's defined. You have your ajna, which is thinking, and that's defined. So you always have this going, right? Thinking and inspiration going all the time, right? Your intuitive response can get kind of tapped to the side. And I want that intuitive response to take center stage. And I want you, as you make all these business decisions and these life decisions, to start tapping into, what does it feel like inside? what does that yes, that intuitive yes feel like for you? And just know that that's the right direction to go, even if it doesn't make sense up here, or to other people. They're like, huh, I don't know about that. You just got that gut, that intuitive response.
Oh.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Oh my gosh. I'm thinking about a conversation I just had with my accountant. I'm like, okay, there's going to be a 5-figure expense coming. He's like, what? I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. It feels right. This is what makes sense, And so, yeah, it might not make sense to them, but investing is a big place that I do rely on my intuition sometimes. Obviously, there's a time to crunch, numbers and things like that, but there are times when it's just like, okay, investing in this is just going to make sense right now. It feels right. And I've had that conversation where I've talked about what it feels like. Like, I feel like this is the best move for my business. And so, I've relied, I like relying on my intuition. If I go against it, something does usually feel off, or you end up going back to it later and revisiting it. So that's why I started laughing, is because, I totally just had a conversation with someone in an accounting mind frame that's probably working with that logic, side of things. And I come running in with some intuition investment ideas. And they're just like, okay, we're doing this. I was like, it's going to work. Just watch.
Yes. It's going to work. Just watch. So for other people that have that inner authority, that kind of feel good, they're using their intuition. What does that feel like to you? Is there some words that you can describe it so other people can have some road markers?
When I guess, like, I don't know. I feel like it's a call from the universe, that it's like, this is something that has shown up in front of you. It's meant to be here. It's just got this like guiding light. I feel like all paths lead to it. And it just feels so right. It's like, oh, I've put in front of a person, or I've put in front of an opportunity, or I showed up at the right place at the right time, like just following like those things. And I hear that a lot, is that you came into my life at the right time, or you showed up here. Like, so not even just me feeling it, but also like other people feeling, I don't know if it's part of that human design, that my intuition led them to me, to them, and then they feel it too. So there's definitely some sort of power behind it that is just unexplainable at times.
Yeah, I love all of those. Like, the universe is calling you. You feel the energy from that situation or that person or that experience that's leading you in the right direction. I think so often we do make business decisions in spreadsheets, and that does have its place, like you said, But if we can lean more into that intuition, and into like manifesting generators and gens do a lot of gut response, like what's that internal energy saying within us, and not discount that, that's our special compass for ourselves. And it's beautiful, and it's leading us right into the direction that we should go into. But sometimes fear or overthinking it, or hey, this just doesn't quite make sense, or even self-sabotage can start playing in the processes that we're supposed to step into the next, and where we're supposed to become. And like you said, if it feels off, it probably is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been told I'm an intuitive person in cases, and it drives my partner crazy, because I can tell in like an instance if something's, not off, and I'll just like pick at it until I figure out what it is.
That is so well, and lean into that even more, because your chart has that throughout your inner authority. It has that defined spleen. And so lean into that and know that that's guiding you, and it's not going to lead you astray, and it's not going to lead you, like off a cliff or something. It might feel like it at first, because everything is kind of scary when it's sometimes, but it's going to lead you in the right path, and that's the direction you're going to. And your business will explode as you keep using that intuition within your business decisions, and also with your clients. You can feel their energy as a projector. You can feel their energy. And that energy exchange, just lean into that, right? And be like, I'm feeling this, and then start taking those steps, So using that beautiful intuition is a great practice for you. So another part on your chart that really stood out to me and spoke to me is your channel. Now, a channel is two centers connected together in a line, okay? And it's all colored in. It's a defined channel. And these can add flavors to our personality, or gifts or strengths that we can have, that we can utilize. And yours that spoke to me, and then it all made sense why it spoke to me. So I'll tell you this picture this is a channel of thinker. So it's connecting your ajna and your crown, okay, which is inspiration and thinking, okay? And you're an intense intellectual thinker. You contemplate things. And your mind is always going, right? So often people talk about like, oh, I've got all these ideas. They're just flooding in, and inspiration. I can't shut off my mind. A lot of times when people have a defined ajna and a defined crown, they have a hard time meditating because they just can't turn off their brain. So I would say just kind of your meditation is going to look different. You have to be actively using your body, walking or doing yoga in order to have that stillness. So if you just want to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, please brain shut off, just know you'll struggle with that. And that's okay,
Or hurry up meditation. Let's go. Is it over yet?
Yes, totally. Like, get this over with. This is not for me. I want to move on, or you've had your thought and you're like, let's do it. Let's go,
I'll do this later.
Yeah. And just know, again, we live in such a culture where, meditation and yoga is so accepted and things like that, but you got to find what works for you. And meditation is not a blanket. It doesn't look like a certain thing. It can look however it looks to you, but you might physically need to do something in order to have some more peace in your brain. Does that make sense?
It does, totally. It answers so many questions too, or like just, me trying to meditate. I do find it very, very difficult because my brain doesn't shut off. So it's good to hear that. It's good to have some of those extra ideas. So I've been trying to do the guided meditation, but even then my voice just like takes over, and it's like, were you even listening for the past 2 minutes? Oops, I totally forgot to do this guided meditation. So yeah,
yes.
I'm glad to hear that there's some other ways that I could do it instead of, thinking that, okay, I got to train myself better to do this. And you got to sit still for 10 minutes and don't think about anything else.
Yes, right. Yeah, you take all of those and you kick those to the curb because that's not helpful for you. And especially as you're looking to restore, you don't have to do meditation, I would really encourage you either to journal or to Voxer or to walk outside, or just even to look outside, or walk around outside, or even if there's a great podcast that you love listening to, and you can kind of listen to that, and then you zone out and your mind is allowed to be free because it's kind of thinking about something. Do you see, your ideas can come in different ways, and your practice is going to look different than others, and that's okay because it's yours.
Okay. No, that's so good. So good. I love it. I do have a ton of podcasts that I binge. And if you saw my desk right now, I can probably count like 12 journals.
Oh, good. That's perfect.
Because I'm just like a journal nut, and then I bring them all back here, and then I go through them and I capture whatever I was doing somewhere else into one place, and then I rip those pages out and I throw them in the bin, and I'm like, yes, that felt so good.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Okay, keep doing that, kick the meditation to the curb, do what you're doing, lean into that, because that's what's going to free your mind, and allow you to have that self-care and reflection that you need in your way. That is great, Lacey.
That is good. I didn't realize that was like a self-care technique, but yes, it does
Mhm.
feel so good. And I just sit there and I just go through my notes quietly and then just rip and shred and
That is such a great ritual too, it's so freeing. That's beautiful. So in this channel that you have, as you're thinking and you're practicing all these different releases, but I want to know, like, as a coach, with your projector ability to see others, ability to create these plans for individuals, intensely think about intellectually, like, how can these processes work? How has that helped you as a coach and in your practice?
oh my goodness. I didn't realize that this was, a gift until I started talking to other people and realizing like sometimes we're so easy for me to think about the strategy and actions. I just, assume that like everyone can think about the strategy and actions they want to take on their business.
Mhm.
And I went on a retreat. We were at the same retreat in Florida, and we're in a house with the ladies in our group, and there was 9 of us in this particular house. I don't know if any are watching, but hello if you are. I lose my
Yes.
earbud. But we just started talking, and then in every situation I just started thinking about strategies and actions, and we were
Mhm.
coming up with ideal clients and taglines and ideas to grow audiences just through conversations. And so it's really helped in my business because when someone can get on the phone with you and within a 10-minute call even just have clarity and see like a
Yes.
roadmap, they get excited, they get inspired. They're looking forward to working on their business where they might have been stuck for several months. And some people I've talked to, even years, have been like having these things sit on the burner, and then we're just kicking them out in some cases days, weeks, depending on what it is, and they're starting to see progress. So that feels so good when you can help someone. I don't like seeing people spend endless money and trying to navigate all this stuff. So I just want to, teach them how to get out of the nest and go so they can have a functioning, profitable business that they can depend on, throughout life. So that's where I'm at.
Mhm.
That's my mission, is supporting and empowering, women to build and monetize their businesses. And I love that I can help them do it quicker than most people.
Yeah, yeah, that is so beautiful. And right, like, and it is a gift, and I'm so excited that you're seeing that, because whenever we see gifts, they get strengthened even more, right? They're like people, they want to be seen and they want to be heard and they want to have a space. And so the more you lean into that, the more it's going to accelerate your own business, and people will be attracted to that. They're going to see, like, you know what, like, I can talk to Lacey, she sees me, we can make progress. And that beautiful combination is so powerful and so uniquely you, that I'm just so excited to continue to watch you grow and see this huge business explode even more. So I know that my audience would love to connect with you more and get to know you more. Do you have a group or a challenge, or what would you, how can they connect with you?
I would say that the best place right now to go would be my website, which is laceycribb.com. I've been rebranded recently, and I'm working on my own website because that's part of the tech stuff that I do. So there is some areas under construction, but there's a lot of things that are open, including you can book a free strategy call with me if that's something you want to talk about for your business. There's discovery call links. There's some freebies available. Like I just recently published a copy and design secrets for your website I evaluated basically a ton of high profit entrepreneurs in the coaching and service provider industry, and then summarize it all into a report saying this is what I noticed in commonalities between all those
Ooh.
sites and what is working well and what performs well. So those are some of the things you'll see on the homepage of my website. So you can definitely go to laceycribb.com and get access to all those goodies. Or you can always DM me on Facebook. I'm always open, Messenger or whatever.
That sounds incredible. I love that. That is really great. And again, you're like a projector in motion. You're just going, 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 and taking that bird's eye view and condensing it into an approachable practice. And that's what projectors are great at. And you're going to continue to grow and grow. And so, audience, I hope you please reach out to her. Please get in her freebie and watch your business grow through her help. So thank you, Lacey, so much for being on today. It was so great to see a projector and to have you on and see all your strengths and your wonderful beauty that's all within you, that you're helping other people with theirs as well.
Thank you so much for doing this. And I feel like I have a greater understanding of why, I'm the way I am. And then, of course, hearing someone else like validate some of that and give deeper understanding and some guidance and tips, like, just felt so good, because sometimes, the people that we're around most don't understand how we tick or why we tick a certain way, and we don't either. So it just felt really good and empowering. It's so good. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, this has been great. Well, thank you, Lacey, so much for coming on. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Oh, wasn't that just incredible, you guys? Like, please drop in the comments how you're feeling after listening to that. Remember that we have all these design types within our businesses, within our teams, within our families. And so chart those that are surrounding you. So, if you're not a projector, you know how to use a projector's gifts in your corporation. You know how to use a projector's gifts within your team and within your family. See who they are. What Lacey said was totally right on. Once we feel seen and heard, everything else becomes more clear. And now we have that beautiful masterclass from last week. It's still up, and I'm actually going to bump it out one more day. I was going to take it down Thursday night to give you guys some more time. I know with the holidays here in the US, but I'm going to stay up that late and take it down. So I'm going to take it down Friday morning, 9 a.m. Okay, so watch out for that. So if you need the link, just drop masterclass below. We'll get you in on that. And I'm so excited for you guys to, as coaches, to see how you can help your students and see them better. What's your insider tips into seeing your students? Now, make sure you get in the homework post as well, so you can drop homework below and I'll tag you in that. Because I'm giving away a Become for a month subscription to Become. And another giveaway is a human design chart reading. So you get a video about your chart with my eyes on your chart. And then Become is a texting where you get a daily text based on your human design type, as well as getting a journal based on your answering those questions within that text. So it's all beautiful. It's wonderful. Thank you all so much for hopping on. Please give Lacey a thank you for coming on and sharing her soul with us and her beautiful business. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Let's rise to thrive.